scary, scary things that are going to happen, and it's really going to test people to see, what do you believe? Do you believe that this could happen? Do you believe that this couldn't happen? I don't know. I just, like I say, I try to go straight from the Bible because that's the way my father, raised me. I'm not one that subscribes to denominations. I'm the kind of guy that'll go to any church out there. I actually went and tried a Christian Science church this weekend because my girlfriend's grandmother was like that all the time. And so I was like, I don't want to say anything derogatory about it without going to see what it is. And the main thing that bothered me was this Mary Baker Eddy that apparently wrote all this stuff about, Christian Science or whatever, and they say her name in these sermons. They don't say it like this, but it's almost the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, and Mary Baker Eddy. And, that just kind of creeps me out that these people want to do that. They want to change something. They want to add something. They want to put something to it. It's like, why do you need to put something to it? God gave that book to us individually for individuals to read. He didn't give it so that, I could. It's like I don't get on my podcast and say, you need to read this, you need to read that. I say, hey, man, you just need to pick it up and read it for yourself. Don't go to this passage. Just pick up the book, open it up, and read it. God will lead you to where you need to be read. It gets me freaked out to hear all these people that want to tell you, and they want to spoon-feed it to you, but they don't want you to read it for yourself. I think that has a lot to do with the Vatican, with what you were talking about, too. We had the King James Version until the Vatican decided to, I heard, what is it, the Chick Publications or whatever said that it was the Jesuits that made the NIV and the RSV.
Right.
I know that those
I'm not
are
sure.
urban legends or whatever. I just know that the King James Version was the original text. I don't understand why we need any simplified versions. I don't see why we need to move commas around. I don't see why we need to change certain words to make it easier for people to understand. It's one book, pick it up, read it,
Right. Well, let's see. Let's go. You want to hang out for a little bit, Kevin, and while we go get some more calls here?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure I'm taking my girlfriend off, but that's all right. It's just an average regular day for me.
All right. Well, whenever you got to go, just go ahead and sign out. But go ahead and give your website for your podcast out in case anybody wants to check it out.
Oh yeah. I'm at teamkevin.podomatic.com. That's where the podcasts come from. I actually incidentally have one called whylovefails.podomatic.com too, because that's where I try to understand why my relationships keep failing. But any hate mail you want to send it to sayno-to-the-chip@yahoo.com.
Say no to the chip. All right. Okay, we got another call here. Hey, what's up, man?
Hello, man. Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Chris, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How have you been?
I've been doing all right. Just, listening to you guys' shows and stuff, keeping up with what you guys are doing, watching your videos on your website.
Right.
You guys are doing a pretty good job.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. If anybody may remember when we did the debate, I guess I don't know what we call it, the 4.5-hour debate together with Dire Wolf and his program. That was pretty cool. We got into some pretty heavy issues there, and I can't thank you enough for you helping me out with all your knowledge of the scripture there. It really came in handy, and we did a good job, I think, at 4.5 hours of sheep in a lion's den, as it were.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, man. I've been just listening to you guys talk about the mark of the beast and it being a chip. And I know most of the world, religious and non-religious, if they hear the mark of the beast, it's either it's a chip or it's a barcode or it's something like that. I tend to think that that's impossible. It can't possibly be a chip because nobody would take it. You can't make millions of people take something they think is evil that they have to forcibly put on their bodies, like physically like that. And I just wanted to know what you guys think about that. If everybody knows something like that is coming, how in the world do they think they could ever do something like that? Which is why I think it's a bait and switch sort of theology. Most of Revelation is symbolism. So wouldn't it seem to make sense that a mark on the forehead and a hand isn't something that's physical? What do you guys think about that?
Frank?
And I have some scriptures to back up kind of my theory, but I just want to hear what you guys have to say about that.
You want to get the scriptures first?
Sure. When we speak of the mark of the beast, it comes from Revelations 13:16, right? People receive the mark of the beast in their forehead and or in their hand or in their hand. I don't know what the exact quote is, in their hand or basically it would have to, the only thing I don't understand is it will somehow prevent us from buying, which is economical, right? But the mark itself represents something to do with worship. And one of the problems you guys were stating earlier is, how does a mark prevent you from worshiping God, right? How does a chip? So, that's one of the big problems I have as well. How does a chip prevent you from worshiping God? Hebrews chapter 10, verse 16 essentially states, I don't know if you guys have the scriptures in front of you, but it essentially states that the forehead represents the mind. And Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10, and these are just a couple, state that the hand is a symbol of work, or the hands represents works or something like that. So, what do you guys think about that?
I personally believe that we need to be ready for it to be anything. It doesn't have to be a chip. I personally think it is going to be something physical. When you check the meaning of the word mark, when you go to the passage about the mark of the beast, if you check in like a Strong's Concordance or whatnot, it denotes like a physical engraving. And as far as it, I don't know. I can't see it being something that's not physical that would somehow keep you from buying or selling. As far as it being something that you have to partake in as part of worship, worshiping the beast,
that's a big problem. How does it prevent you from worshiping?
Well, no, it doesn't prevent you from worshiping. It's something that you do as part of worshiping the beast. You worship the beast when, the way I rationalize it, maybe I'm wrong here, I don't actually have the verse in front of me, but
I do.
You want to read it?
Sure, and he had, Revelation 13, chapter 15, and he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause, where did I got, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, nope, I'm not there yet. Where did it go?
16.
16, okay. There you go. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666.
Now, if you check 15, it says that he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So you have a function of this where you have to worship the beast, or in the image of the beast, and take the mark in your hand or in your forehead.
Right.
Yeah, it does say and. And
he goes back to Daniel chapter 3, where Nebuchadnezzar has built an image based off of his dream that Daniel interpreted to him, and he had the whole nation, or at least everyone who was present, bow down and worship his image or be thrown in the furnace. And that verse 15, it really sounds like Daniel chapter, essentially that's what it's saying. Either you worship the beast and take the mark, or you don't, sort of thing, right? So it sounds like it's relating to worship. It does throw in the buying and selling part, and if there's some sort of economic turmoil to where you're going to have to do something in order to eat or feed your family or whatever it is, or to be able to work, period, I do see something like that being able to be played out to where they can, if the cashless society or something like that, to where they will have that sort of control to prevent people who don't, take their work card and sign up for bread and milk, sort of thing like that,
I'd like to interject. First of all, it does seem like those that have refused to worship should be killed. It says the image of the beast should be killed. And then it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. It's kind of like an afterthought. So it seems like, already this worship thing is happening, and then those that didn't do that should be killed, and then he causes, seems like everybody here, all, to get the mark. I don't know. I just really don't know. A lot of interesting things there. But also, I guess it's probably helpful to understand, we do, like you were saying, I think the crux of the whole thing is it does seem a little fishy that everybody knows it's going to be a chip. And then we have Verichip and everybody else, and everybody's just pretty much got this nailed down. Oh, they're going to want us to get a chip, and they're going to buy and sell, cashless society, blah blah blah. And then, so I see where your point is, but also, it does have this functional aspect of it. We don't understand, like we were talking about earlier, with this nanotechnology and all this stuff that's going to go down. It's really kind of, the chip is actually well outdated. They could do everything the chip could do in a nanoparticle. They got viruses building batteries, and they could be in a syringe and a vaccine. We might have no idea what that, and then not even know what that technology can do. I think the Bible is a master of understatement, and I think we might have a case of that here. And for us to presume anything is right in your instance, we shouldn't presume it's a chimp by any means, but it does seem, as Frank seemed, like it has to be something physical. And the whole idea of it being in your forehand or right hand is a very practical thing, too, for something physical, because, it's going to be in right hands, so everybody will know which hand it is. If somebody passes out, they'll know where to look. It's very commonplace. But not everybody has right hands, so the forehead would be the other place to do that, paraplegics and the rest of them. But everybody's got a forehead. So there's a practical aspect there, too. But anybody else want to chime in on that one?
Yeah, I got one. The forehead appeals to something I was thinking about. Everybody would, it's nothing to get something in your forehead, your arm, because, shoot, if someone tells you, man, this is great, you don't have to carry cash around anymore or whatever, and you just walk into the grocery store and scan it, and they're, yeah, that's cool. No, but nobody's really going to want to sign up for the forehead thing. But we do have consideration that they are building a massive prison system, and I've seen all the videos of concentration camps and things like that they say don't exist. So prisons are one way to use this mark on a forehead. It basically states once you get it on that forehead, everybody will know you've been in that prison system, and it'll be one easy way to keep those people rounded up.
Mm-hmm. And also, I would like to suggest, because I think another one of your points is that, nobody would want to get that and everything, but I really do see, like Frank used to have on his intro, Sean Hannity talking with the makers of the chip, and Sean's just like, oh, I love this idea, Bub, or whatever, talking about the chip is just such a great idea for safety, and oh my gosh, we'll never have any more children. Just think of how they could sell it on just the child, where your child is alone. They could spin that in a very post-war kind of terrorist scared world. Right. Oh man, you track everybody. Everybody's going to be on board for that. I think that you may be giving everybody a little too much credit as in what they will or won't think is a good idea. I think that you'll have people lining up to get the chips, and if you don't, they'll line them up for them.